Hey everyone, welcome back to the John Dewey podcast. Today I'm here with my co-host
Dee Dee.
and
CJ.
and today we have a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. What's up, John Dewey Podcast? My name is Mia Hall.
Well, welcome, Yaha.
Thank you.
Today we're going to be interviewing you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And we just overall just have a lot of questions, but I think CJ that you had a lot of questions to start off with, if you want to.
Overall, can you tell us a little bit about like where you're from, what led you to doing what you do?
Yes, absolutely. So, first of all, thank you so much to you all for having me on the podcast. Thank you, Coach L, Coach P. You know what I mean? I grew up knowing them from church, CCC. So, I started going there when I was 13. I started seeing them playing basketball and everything and, just doing their thing, rapping and everything too as well. So much respect to them. So I'm originally from East New York. I grew up in Pink Houses projects, and from a young age, I valued education, was always in my books, always loved school. And my family valued education too. They knew that, hey, you can get out of here, with your education. And so they always encouraged me to go to the free programs. I went to East New York Theatrical Workshop when I was from age 3 to 12. And then I went to 273 in East New York. And I, was just involved in all the activities there. And then, I feel like your second question was, what do I do now? Mm-hmm. Pretty much. So was in education, and I always had a passion for education, like I said, and I wanted to know why some students were motivated and why some students weren't. So really, that led me to studying education. So I went to undergrad for sport management because I loved playing basketball and I loved sports. I loved watching sports and everything, so I did sport management there, but I went to Harvard University to get my master's in education, study education there. Now, currently, I'm a producer, film and TV, and podcast producer. So I used what I learned and that motivation because in recent years, I see how much of an impact media has on young people and motivating people. And so that's what I feel like now my life work is, to make sure that young people and older people own their narrative, right? Are able to tell their story through these social media platforms, through podcasts, through films and television shows, if they, want to write and produce TV shows. So I think that owning our narrative and owning our story is very important. And it really started from, when I was passionate for education and wanting to motivate people. Because I feel like when you can see it, you can believe it. When you believe it, you can achieve it. So I think media is a great way to do that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
good to know. You said education was your main sort of trying to get out of where you was from. So what type of education did you receive? Like where did you go to school? How was it like and stuff like that?
Yeah, so the first school I went to was right across the street from Pink Houses, PS 224. And I went there for pre-K and kindergarten. And I'm getting into the weeds, I know. You're like, okay, well, so I was born in Kings County Hospital. But
Same.
who said same? Oh, you, okay. Hey, shout out to Kings County. I went to 224, then I went to 273. Then I went to middle school at Russell Sage in Queens. In 273, I would say, like, they had a lot of Black teachers, thankfully, and they always emphasized Black history. Like Black History Month, shout out to, February for being Black History Month, but they always had a program and, taught us more than what was in the books. I would say I got a good history, education, from then. Then my mom always read a lot of books. So she was reading like, Monster and stuff like that, like, just books by Black authors that just taught me things that I wasn't learning in school too. So I would say the type of education I got was there, but I also got education in the arts because remember I said I was in that dance program. Mm-hmm. I got education in Latin. When I was in middle school, I was able to take Latin. I was able to take drama. In high school, I took some college courses, and that's really where my passion for media came in because, I saw just how much of an impact it had on people. Even newspapers, like they said that Marilyn Monroe, when she committed suicide, it was on the front page of the paper. They said like the next day there was reported like a spike in suicides. You know what I mean? Like after everybody saw it on the paper. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, like this is like like media has a true impact on people. Like when people see stuff, you know what I mean? You don't know how they can react. So that's the type of education. That's a little bit about the education I received, and most of it also was out of school.
Okay. Well, that I really like understand what you mean about like how much like social media has an impact on people, and I just wanted to ask because you said like how like all the I've seen in the video that you showed us earlier, all the stuff that you do with like interviewing people and like going to like big places and stuff. I want to know like how like your first experience like doing something that big like as a milestone. How did it feel? How much did it take? And like how, like was it really worth it?
Yes, I would say it was absolutely worth it. I would say that, like I said, me and Coach L and Coach P went to Christian Cultural Center. So, our pastor, Pastor Urban Senior, he was always just so, like motivational, like change is the only constant in life. You know what I mean? And I knew that like, okay, I'm gonna have to change if I want to come like, from the projects and come to like the red carpets and you know what I mean, things like that. So I would say like one of my first experiences was producing myself because when I was in high school, I had a friend that we did this show called Word on the Street. And we would just go in front of the movie theater that is also closed down in downtown Brooklyn. But we used to go to one by Barnes & Noble anyway. But yeah, we used to do a Word on the Street. And he would just have his little camera. And, we would be like, okay, the Word on the Street. We're just asking people, what did you think of Spider-Man? You know what I mean? So it was like, we would just like, you know what? We don't have NBC calling us, but we got a camera. And, we're just going to go in front of the movie theater and just, tape interviews on the street. So we did that like in high school. So it was like, that was like my first experience. And then, in college, I actually tried to get into a journalism program. I didn't get in. And then that's when I studied sport management. So studied sport management. And then I was like, I want to get back into media. So that's when I started a sports blog. So I started a sports blog for the school that I was working with, the high school sports management. And so that was some of my first experience. And then they were like, well, we want to send you to the All-Star game. So that was my first time, like, really, like, doing reporting like that because I started the school blog. You know what I mean? So it was always started independently. Yeah. Like, okay, I'm going to produce myself before I ask somebody to produce me.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
You've done so much, like, you've done so many phenomenal things that a lot of us can only, like, hope to do. And I'd like to ask you, besides maybe you and your parents, who do you think you're giving a voice to?
Ooh, okay. Coming
deep.
Digging deep in the pocket with these questions. Wow, who am I giving voice to? I think I'm giving voice to people that come from similar circumstances as me. I think I'm giving voice to a young girl who, might be growing up in pink houses right now. You know what I mean? That, has dreams, has aspirations, but nobody will hear her, because they're like, oh, who's this guy running a project? Oh, she's going to end up pregnant or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, oh, she want to just, I don't know, do whatever, but I feel like I'm giving voice to, a little girl that, is lacking hope because she doesn't see it around her. Lacking hope because, she might not have anybody in her family that graduated. Lacking hope because she might come from a teenage family. I came from a teenage family. Lacking hope because her dad might have been in and out of prison. My dad was in and out of prison. Dad might have been on drugs. He was in, so I think I'm giving voice to like little girls everywhere who might be losing hope.
That's great. That's touched my heart a little bit.
No, for real. But you're like, oh.
You said like, I do also relate to you. My father was never really there until I got older. How do you think, since your father was so absent, how do you think that was the main factor that shaped who you are right now?
I mean, I think that, my dad not being home and seeing my mom as a strong woman, you know what I mean? Like, hold it down. I think I had a lot of respect for women, especially like black women, because that's what I saw like every single day. Like I saw her getting up. I saw her getting us dinner. I saw her, you know what I mean? Just sacrificing. Like I remember when she couldn't like get me like clothes and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? Like, I just remember, having to wear like the same thing and just wash it and wear it again. You know what I mean? Like, I remember all the sacrifices that she made. So I think that gave me like an extra respect for women. And it made me want to be like a powerful woman, it inspired me to like, you know what, I'm going to, be the woman that, my mother was, but also, just try to make the world a better place and, inspire more people so that the family unit can stay together. I mean, shout out to my dad, like he wasn't in my life for a long time and I wasn't able to like grow up in the same household with him. But, when he went to prison, he was able to go to a boot camp and, turn his life around. So he picked us up on the weekends, so I'm also thankful for those times. But yeah, as far as like every day, like moms hold it down. And so that it shaped me because it inspired me to not only want to be a powerful woman, but to empower other women.
That's very beautiful, and I understand what you mean about like always seeing like your mom like sacrifice, because for like the longest time, me and my mom wasn't always by ourselves, but we like my mom would like be in a relationship with someone, and like they wouldn't really like be there for me. They would only like be there for her, or like they just like wouldn't be good for either of us, and so like I only really saw her as the only person that would like keep me safe and make sure that I had what I needed and stuff that I wanted, even if she couldn't have stuff for herself. And like seeing that even to this day, like she has done so much, and she made sure that like we didn't live like the rest of our family, because the rest of my family lives in the projects. She made sure that we don't live like that at all. She has been, because she had me at 17, she's been working ever since then. And like now we have like our beautiful own apartment, and like we're thinking about like moving to like actual house soon. And like she's doing all this, and like seeing her achieve what she wanted and being the first person in our family in like a whole century to actually graduate and even think of going to college was like so like inspiring to me. And I don't want to just like, I don't want her to like be like the only person, so I wanted to like continue that on, because I don't want her to like fight for nothing. And also because I don't want to live like the rest of my family now that I know that there's so much more. And now like I'm just following in her footsteps and like making sure that like I get up for school every day even though I don't want to, making sure that I do what I have to do even when I don't want to. And like even though I don't have to sacrifice, it's like I'll like take time out of my day to make sure that like the house is clean, or like if she wants something done, or like if she wants something at all, like I try to get it. And like I just feel like, and I can tell that she appreciates it, but I don't think she really understands why I do it. And it's just because like I want her to like understand like how comfortable she can be, and like how much I appreciate what she's done for herself and for me. And I told her like recently that because she works so hard for me, I need her to like understand how to work for herself. Because being a woman in power, you have to like prove everybody wrong, and like always worry about what everybody else is thinking, worried on how to ignore everybody, and just keep on doing what you have to do. And so she wasn't really focusing as much as herself, because when she had a child, she was always worrying about me. And now I just want her to like focus on herself. And so seeing that, I just want to be like the next person in my family to like do something big. And seeing you're like the really only other person that I've seen in person that like made it out. And like it's just like very inspiring, which is why like I'm so like into like asking you so many questions, because this is exactly what I want for my future. And I just want to know if like there's like any like things for someone like me at this very moment, not like anything I can do to like change or like and start improving before like I actually go into the real world.
Wow. Well, first of all, shout out to your mom and shout out to you. You know what I mean? That is very admirable and not something that everybody can say that they do. So yeah, shout out to you. But yeah, one thing that you can do, I mean, I understand what you mean by the real world, but I know that you're living in it now too. You know what I mean? I'm sure that you've already been through, some very, serious situations, and this generation, especially after the whole pandemic, like you've been through a lot already. You know what I'm saying? So this is the real world. But I know what you mean. Like after you graduate and things like that, you got to work to make a living and things like that. So yeah, I mean, you're on the right path. I would say that, with being in this program, having great mentors, so definitely keep that in mind. I would say the biggest things that helped me was taking my education seriously, whether that's in school or out of school. Like, if you want to do something, learn about it. Like, now you all have access to YouTube. You have all access to any book that you want. Anything is at the tip of your fingers. You know, it wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
So I would say educate yourself. You know what I mean? Like, focus on your books, yes, but also outside of school. Like, for just be a student, study, practice, observation. Our pastor used to say that. Be a student of what you want to do. So I would say education. Second thing is dream big. You know what I mean? Like, don't sell yourself short, and don't dream small. You know what I mean? Like, do something that's like bigger than you. That is going to take more than just you to accomplish it. You got your mom, you have friends, you have classmates. Like, dream big. Like, don't put any limits on yourself just because, oh, I'm from here, or I only have this. No, like, dream as big as you can, and then, you know what I mean? Like, shoot for the moon. If you land on the stars, then, you know what I'm saying, at least you shot your shot. You miss 100% of the shots, you don't take. All of that.
That's very true.
Third thing I would say is get mentors. You know, like I said, you have mentors here, but mentors will be those people and your friends, but, you know, make sure you are the average of the 5 people you want to hang out with the most. I said that in there, and I'll say it here. But mentors will help you to get to those big dreams, get to those big goals. Now you have social media. People can DM people. Like, I used to literally have to, you know, look in a phone book to find people like that were the top person in my industry to be able to take them, to ask them, oh, can I go to lunch? Can I ask you some questions? Take them on an informational interview.
Yeah.
So, you know, but now you have access to the internet. You could DM somebody that you see, or you could look them up on LinkedIn or whatever. So I would say that third person is like the people. Like, make sure you know what I mean? Like, and don't just, mentorship is earned, not owed. So don't like go to somebody and just think, oh, you're going to be my mentor because I asked you. You know what I mean? Like, see what you could do for them. Like, how can you serve them? Can you know what I mean, help them out with something that they need assistance with? Can you help them out at an event? Can you help them out with their podcast club? You know what I mean? Like, setting up, breaking down, like, you know what I mean? So I would say those 3 things.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Do you think that it would be like easier or better for us to like focus on trying to like reach one goal or trying to do multiple at one time?
More deep call.
Okay, with the
questions.
question.
I know. I love. Oh yeah, guys.
Like, it stemmed from like, you said something about everyone wanting to go to college, and you asked how many of us wanted to go to college, and I didn't feel disrespected by it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I didn't raise my hand because I don't plan to go to college immediately. I plan to go to the Army first, so I can like help myself solidify a spot in any college. Do you think that would be a good way to go, or do you think I should try and focus directly on college?
No. So the reason I asked about, just to clarify, the reason I asked everybody that was going to college, I wanted to see, like, you know, who I could speak to. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the path that I took after high school. I went straight to college. But I am a big advocate of, you know, doing, like, you know, going after a goal that you want. And, you know, if that's the Army, you know what I'm saying, then go to the Army first, especially if you could, you know, you could earn your income, or, you know, you could make money to be able to do, you know, what you want to do, or be able to go to, like you said, any college that you want to go to. So I'm an advocate for that. I'm an advocate for doing something. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you do something at school, you go to a trade school, like, they make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't pay for school. You know what I mean? But, you know, but I've done it and I don't regret it. But, you know, there's just so many things that you can do. I could either go to a free school, you know what I mean? And it's not about where you go. It's about what you do when you get there. You know what I mean? So I could go to a big school and then not do anything while I'm there, but I could go to a small school and be the president, like, of the student council. You know what I mean? Like, I could be the president of every club. I could study abroad, you know what I mean, at my small school or at my trade school and do that. So yeah, I'm an advocate of doing, you know, something, right? As far as focusing on multiple goals versus one goal, I'll say this. I worked under Steve Harvey for 6 years, right? And he always talks about, like, there is no plan B. Now, some people might disagree with that, but, you know, he always talks about having a plan A and, you know, like, don't have, like, a backup plan. Because if you have a backup plan, and this is when I'm just referring to, like, let's say if it's, like, a goal that's, like, a backup plan, then, you know, if you don't reach your goal, then you're going to give up going after it and just go to your backup plan. You know what I mean? So I would say that's just one thing to remember. And then I do like focusing on one thing at a time, because especially at a young age, and then, you know, that can lead to so much more. But I would never say, like, you know, stop doing one thing that is that you love. You know what I mean? Do what you love, but to have a focus. It's like light, right? Light is in here, right? But when you have a laser and it's focused, it can, what I mean, like cut through glass, right? So that's the thing about having one goal, because you can focus and you could get to it. You could get to it easier. But if you have multiple goals, it's like this light. You know what I mean? It's this light isn't cutting anything right now. You know what I mean? But if you have that focus, you have that one goal. You know what I mean? Then you can cut through the obstacles, that might come with getting to that goal a little bit faster. So that's just perspective, my perspective on it.
That's a good answer.
Thank you.
Okay, you keep talking about like you want to help people that want to do something. What if like a kid coming out of the projects, they don't know what to do or what to be in? What would be the advice you give to that one young kid coming out of the projects?
Yes, that's a great question. That's a great question because because adults, let me tell you something. It doesn't stop when you're, when you're a teenager. It's adults that come to me now and they're like, I don't know what I want to do. Like, I just don't know what I want to do. And so I would say definitely be introspective. You know what I mean? And think about what you like. Remember when I asked, like, what do you want to be when I grow up? I want to be happy. You know what I mean? Like, so think about what makes you happy. I have this tiger method that I put in my upcoming book, Glow Girl. But it's called Tiger because and I found it online. So, not saying this is my original, but it's saying look at your talents, look at your interests, look at your goals, look at your experiences, and look at your resources, right? And that's a way that you can kind of say, okay, this is what I want to do, because you want to pick something. So that's what I would encourage people to do. Like, look at what you like. Like, what do you enjoy? Even if it's people, making millions of dollars, at least one woman I know making millions of dollars off of making wreaths, like holiday wreaths. You know what I mean? Like, because she loved to do that. And then she just kept on following. And now she has a whole community teaching people how to make wreaths, YouTube channel, how to make wreaths. Like, so it could be something as extreme as that. But I would say, look at what you love, look at what you like and what you're good at. What are you talented in? What are you gifted in? What do people come to you for, but they don't come to anybody else for? Or something that you do easily that might be like kind of difficult for other people. So I would say, like look for clues introspectively, like in yourself. And then, pick that and then go after it. Study, practice, observation. Study other people who have done it. Practice doing it. Observe other people that are doing it.
Well, that was very beautiful. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I love all the answers you gave. And I love all the questions that everybody asked. And I feel like we covered everything, don't you think?
Yeah, if you think so, I'm fine.
Well, yeah, I feel like it is. But anyway, I feel like this is where we should cut it short.
Okay.
But we will be coming back soon. Hopefully, we'll see you again.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, I think that's it for this John Dewey podcast for today. Remember that we post every Wednesday, and we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.